So that was a great conversation about lesson plans. Now we're going to talk about the evidence of positive classroom environments. We know that close student-teacher relationships have social and academic benefits for our students. It is vital that we create classroom environments that are positive, safe, and nurturing for our students. In positive classroom environments, students know that they're honored and that their ideas, their interests, their beliefs are highly valued by the teacher and by peers. The teachers are available to all students when they have questions, concerns, and need one-on-one support. By being available, honoring and valuing your students, this is how teachers build trust with each student. Teachers model positive social skills such as empathy, tolerance, patience, problem solving, and effective communication. Teachers keep the behavior and the student separate. So if a student exhibits a behavior that is not conducive for this type of environment, the teacher addresses that behavior and doesn't identify the student with that behavior. In a classroom that is positive, students have roles and responsibilities. Teachers speak in private when addressing misbehaviors. They don't embarrass a student in front of his or her peers. Teachers and students establish clear rules and procedures for the class. It's important that students are involved in creating and maintaining these rules. Some teachers create a class contract in which students have to sign it, and it's posted in the front of the classroom. Finally, teachers take the time to reflect on judgments that they may have for students, and if any negative feelings are developing, they address it and they seek help or someone to talk through these issues with. Please know I'm here for you to talk with, as well as the school guidance counselor. I want you to take a moment and think about anything else that you feel is really critical to create a positive classroom experience. Are there things that I'm missing? It's important that student engagement is elevated. Teachers need to prepare authentic and interesting lessons. This goes back to understanding your students' interests. What makes them tick? What is going to make them motivated to learn? Students are able to understand the reason for the lesson. They need to know what the purpose is. Why is it relevant? Teachers remain flexible and they incorporate student ideas. Please know, if a lesson goes in a different direction, that's okay. As long as you know that what they're learning and engaging in is valuable, that's what's important. Teachers provide scaffolding throughout the lesson. So we talked about setting that bar high, but we need to support those students who might be struggling. It's important that teachers monitor the pacing and the engagement. Know what you're teaching. That refers to the content, context, and a learning objective, and the why. Why are we doing this? Finally, it's important to know when we need to re-engage a student. Is interest waning? Do they need a break? Do they need to get up, stretch? This is really important. So I want to ask you, take a moment and talk to a peer next to you. What do you do to engage your students? I talked a little bit about student engagement, and it's equally important that teachers understand their students and if they're really grasping a concept. Some teachers do this by asking questions during group discussions. Have them interpret, summarize the material. Ask them why and how questions. Ask students to show understanding during group discussions or direct instruction. Students can use individual whiteboards, chalkboards, or technology to show what they know.
This is Padlet, an online tool that lets all of your students participate in discussions. I'm going to start by building a wall, and this is already ready to go. You have a unique URL address up here, but I kind of want to change it, so I'm going to click over and modify this wall, and those little gears, and everything you need is over here. So I'm going to start by giving it a title so I can find it later, and I'm going to click on wallpaper. You can add your own background or one of the options they give you. As far as layout, it's pretty much as you see here, freeform. They can put their posts anywhere, and you can rearrange them, or stream a little bit more linear and organized. Privacy by default gives you a hidden link, but I'm also going to add moderate posts because I have a few silly kids in my class that I want to see what they write before it gets posted to everyone so they can all see it. So I'm going to submit. One more thing I want to do here, I'm going to click back on Modify Wall. I'm going to click on this address part. This is nice if students need to type into the browser, finding an easy URL. So I'm going to come up with, let's see, MC Usher. Let's see if it's available. Yep. So I'm going to change my URL. So now all they have to do is write that URL in, and it's pretty simple. You could also copy this URL or the one you had before and make a QR code if students have access to mobile devices. It just changed right over there, so I can just project that on the screen. Now I'm going to come back over to my wall. I'm going to give this a little bit more information. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to put in my name, and I'm going to ask a question. What do you think about MC Usher's work? And then I'm going to add something to this. I'm going to add a video. So I'm going to grab this video. This is a YouTube video. I'm going to copy it, come back over. There's my link, and paste it in. Just like that, I have a wall ready for kids to access and watch the video. And all they do is just double click, and they type in their name and write something for it. That's it.
So that's a way to incorporate technology. And we know that some students might be a little bit shy or apprehensive to share in person, but when it's through technology, they might be a little bit more eager to do this. Finally, it's important that teachers move around the room during guided and independent work. Touch in with each child, check in with them. Use the information from assessments, homework, to adapt future lessons, review content, or modify instruction. It is important that learning is differentiated. Differentiation is when teachers understand and respond to the individual learners. Teachers can differentiate content, process, products, and the learning environment. We all know that assessment should be linked to instruction. It's important that activities are valuable and respectful. Be mindful of dittos or worksheets just to fill time. Please seek help when needed from other educators, specialists, administration, or peers. I want to ask you, what challenges do teachers face when it comes to differentiation? How can we support teachers? Time management, so important. Teachers consider the various times to manage time. Allocated time, instructional time, time that students are engaged in learning, and the time that teachers need to assess their learning. Teachers should be prepared and have materials accessible and ready to go. Establish routines, especially for our young ones, so that transitions are smooth and efficient. Know when to let students continue if they're engaged in deep learning.